Please. Good afternoon, everyone. Very happy to be with you today. When we were preparing for this talk, both Ines and you have said, you should give us, what's your favorite hobby so we can present you in a different way. In a way, I'm glad you didn't, because I really asked you that, I'm not sure what's my favorite hobby or how to describe it. It's more about what I enjoy doing and my passions. And since it's difficult to explain what they are, it's good that you didn't have to do that. So I'll try. And I'll try by going a little bit back in time when I was a student in primary school. We once sat and had to decide what our hobbies are. But I was so bothered about speaking how the world should look in a couple of years and what we should do, that my classmates really decided not to bother with me anymore and said, fine, you have these alien-like ideas, so we're not interested in you, and let's move on to our more interesting and traditional hobbies, which I also have. Now going back and thinking about this situation, I didn't really feel successful at the time. I was really sad and said, okay, I don't fit out there probably very much. But what inspired me is that actually societies and the way they've realized today themselves and the way we see success has changed. And so how do we see and make sure success has a different meaning for Generation X or even for Generation D? And Generation D, I mean the digital generation, today's generation. How do they feel successful, and how do they are actually successful today, not in the long run? I would argue that in order for us to be successful, we need a certain set of skills. But would digital skills be enough? Or do we need robot-proof skills or digital-proof skills to achieve this important success of tomorrow? Well, let's look at the numbers. Today we have around 20 million Europeans that are unemployed. In the same time, every 4 in 10 employers says they struggle to find the right professionals with the right skills. So perhaps, definitely, we need those digital-proof and robot-proof skills to be successful. But before going there, I'll bring you again a little bit back in time. And I want to show you this futuristic cartoon. Any guesses when this futuristic cartoon was put forward? Well, somewhere here I think it says 1958. And it was supposed to show how the future of teaching would look like. Machine button, no professors, no teachers around, very limited interactions with teachers. Did it really happen? It did not. But what happened is groundbreaking innovations. We invented the light bulb, telephone by Bell, the airplane by the Wright brothers. But doesn't it seem like we're traveling just like we used to travel with the same speed back at that time? How do we make sure we travel more adequately? Or perhaps faster? Or simply different? How do we make sure we understand what drives the human spirit forward? And I would like to point out 3 things that I believe drive the human spirit forward. Intellectual curiosity is what expands our horizons. We find new planets, the internet, nanosatellites. Not too long ago, some months ago, a great entrepreneur, others might call him innovator of the 21st century, said the dream is real. Now you can board on a commercial spaceship and land on a different planet, not just planet Earth. But it was this critical imagination that was driving people forward. Critical imagination is what innovates products, business models, societies. It is the capacity to make us dream and get to innovative solutions. And by making us dream, it could be making us make sure that we solve a social problem, an educational gap, for example. But it could also be something much more revolutionary, just like the same entrepreneur thought a day ago he might want to merge the human brain together with computers and make us live forever. But no one would do that if we don't share the passion for what we do. Whether we are entrepreneurs or policymakers, politicians, we need to be passionate for what we are doing. If we want to call ourselves digital leaders of the 21st or the 22nd century, passion has to drive us. How we really move those policy envelopes forward within our societies. How do we make sure that societies move forward by being passionate about the things they do? We can amplify a digital future only by mixing robot-proof and robot-enabled skills. We would need the mix between the restless human spirit and the high-end technological innovation to succeed. It is the nexus of the essential skills that defines us. And we, as politicians, would need to support future-oriented policies. We need to work towards making sure that the regulations that we put in place are actually there to help innovation happen. We need to build cross-border, cross-sectorial, and cross-generational platforms. Digital Europe is both a reality and a promise at the same time. We need to work on numerous things to make sure that we are prepared today, not tomorrow, that we're prepared today. Make sure that this 5th generation of mobile networks is out there. Big data. Most people do not understand how much it can impact societies. The free flow of data should become the 5th freedom in the European Union. And speaking about our single market, we should no longer call it digital single market, because the single market should be digital. And by doing this, again, I underline we have to do it today, so that we can show we are open for business today. But in the same time, this would enable us to be the disruptors, the challengers, the achievers of tomorrow. That we are doers, and Europeans have showed we are doers. So let's continue on that same path to prove that by excelling, we can reach those new horizons. And now let's go back to the future and Slido. Thank you.